So, first of all, could you please give your name, your position, and what you do? So, if you have like any hobbies or other interests outside of game dev.
Yeah. So, my name's Andrew Smith. I'm the vice president of the Game Development Club, and obviously do game development on the side, but also some other unknown hobbies I have are kind of woodworking and some fabrication and manufacturing for like metalwork and stuff.
So besides your admin position, what else do you do in the club? Like if you're on a game team, what is your position and stuff like that?
Right, so on a game team, I'm usually doing a lot of the programming side of things. That's kind of where my background came from. But given that I have a little bit more experience kind of doing some leadership type things, I usually take on some production role, and it's kind of loosely just making sure people are, keeping up to date on what they're working on, make sure everyone's organized, everyone knows what's going on, that we keep moving forward, we don't leave anyone behind on a game team.
How did you get into game development?
So that actually started a long time ago. I actually have a cousin that works at Blizzard right now, and probably when I was like 13, 14, I started, I kind of saw what stuff he was working on. I think he gave me StarCraft 2, the Brood War expansion pack right when it came out, and that's kind of where it started. I was like, oh hey, people make games. I like that, I should do that, that sounds fun. So from then, my parents were really supportive of that. They would give me kind of books and stuff, those like cheesy books like Great Games as a Teen. So my parents gave me a couple of those and type of things, so I was able to start learning kind of the basics of game development. It wasn't really programming then. And then in high school, I had a couple friends that took AP Computer Science. I actually didn't take it because I was doing volleyball at the time. But so they were taking that class, and I started taking some of their projects and reverse engineering them to make something else. And from there, that's when I actually started learning programming. And then I started looking up at YouTube videos and other things I can find. There were tutorials on how to make games in Java. And that's kind of where my love for game development, and specifically programming and game development, started. And then I came here, immediately joined the VGDC, and then off I went, making games.
So how did you end up joining VGDC, and how did you become an officer?
So that was actually something that I came to UCI knowing about the VGDC. When I was applying for colleges, I had two picks that I was choosing between. One was Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and then UCI. And upon talking to a couple people, including my cousin at Blizzard, he was saying, hey, I know UCI has this video game development club that's getting pretty big. So, and especially given how their location is right next to Blizzard and Riot and a couple other studios, I chose to come here. And my freshman year, during the fall, that fair that goes on where all the clubs are out there, I immediately went, found VGDC, signed up. And then kind of from there, I started on my first project. It failed miserably, and then I didn't do anything for the rest of freshman year because VGDC was different back then. And then starting my sophomore year, I really said, okay, I really need to get into this. I really need to make games. So I kind of dived in, started coming to the game lab, started hanging out more, and then, that's where I really got into VGDC and really started making a lot of connections, making a lot of friends.
Why should people join VGDC?
Several reasons. Networking, for one, portfolio pieces, and also it's just fun. It's, like for networking, of course, we're all in here because we all want to make games. And you never know who's going to end up where. I now know a couple people at Amazon Game Studios. I know someone at Blizzard. I know people at Google and Amazon and other CS industries. So that networking opportunity is really, really helpful, because then you can reach out to these people like, hey, you got any open positions? Like I reached out to Brad. He was the VP last year. I said, hey, I'm going through Amazon. Is there anything, can you let your manager know? So he put in a good word for me. So having that connection can really help you in the long run. For portfolio pieces, obviously to get into the games industry, you need to be able to make games. So a big thing of what these big companies look for is that you have a portfolio of games that you've made. And being here, being surrounded by like-minded people really helps drive you towards making those games, and it really helps give you a lot of opportunities to build your portfolio, to improve, learn from other people's experiences, and kind of make it so you can get into that job, because that's what the whole goal of this is to get out there and get a job. And then, it's just fun. Like we're all like-minded people. We all just like to hang out. Like, besides just the professional side of making games and networking, we're all just friends. We hang out. We go out to dinners. We all, have fun. We all play games, obviously, so we'll play games. So, it's just a lot of fun to hang out.
So what is your favorite memory from the club, if something in particular stands out, or like a collection of memories if you have more than one?
I would say one that kind of stuck out was actually from Global Game Jam of last year. I was actually coming in late, so I was asking people, hey, does anyone have a group they can let me in? And Itai, who you guys saw in the first video, Itai and Greg and Claudia and another friend of mine, John Luke, were all working on a project together, so they said, hey, come on in. And it's kind of a testament to how weird game development can be, because I came in and I was like, all right, what you guys got? And their idea was a copy of Twitch in which you're playing a game. You're playing as a live streamer, and there's people chatting, and you play as a Chick-fil-A worker fighting dinosaur aliens that are attacking your Chick-fil-A. And that was the pitch they gave me, and I'm just like, all right, let's go. So it's those kind of weird, fun things that happen, It's like you never expect this, but it's like, oh, this would be fun, let's do it. So that's a lot of fun.
Would you like to talk about some of your favorite games that you've created through the club?
Well, that was one of them. That one was called Dino Stream. That was one of my favorites because I got to work pretty heavily into making an AI chat, which was a lot of fun. It's something I'd never experienced before, but actually came out really well, and I was really proud of it. Another one of my favorites was Zombambros, in which you played as these... It was a two-player kind of cooperative, then turned into competition. Cooperation, I think is what we called it. So you played together at first to make sure you survived the zombie wave, and you worked in this really cool split screen system, and that I was actually really proud of that too, is which as you moved around, the split screen would kind of turn. So it would turn, and then you can be here, and as you move, it turns more. And it was this kind of complex system that helped you know where you were in the map and where you were relative of the other player. Because then after you would defeat the zombie wave, you had to fight each other. And it was this really fun kind of thing, because you would fight off zombies to get power-ups and find weapons, and then you could fight each other at the end. And if you killed more zombies, you could have better power-ups. So that was a really fun one.
It's really cool. What games inspire you as a developer?
I honestly say a lot of first-person shooters and other types of things like that. I like those type of games in which I can see... as a developer, you kind of get to realize how difficult things can be in games. And seeing games like those big FPSs, I get to try to look at them for the little details. Like, I remember I was able to play... For the first time I played Overwatch, I was playing it with my cousin, since he helped develop it. We were playing around, and the first thing I did is I ran up to a pot, tried to melee it, and said, hey, it didn't break, Tim, what the heck? And then he's like, oh, that's actually supposed to break, I'll fix that. So being able to have those little experiences and be able to see what those big AAA studios do. So games like Overwatch, games like Borderlands 2, I love comedy in games as well, so Borderlands 2, Portal 2, these puzzle games, and being able to see how those big AAA studios do things and try to extract that to improve my own stuff, as well as to understand and appreciate what all goes into these big games.
Where would you like to work after college, or like what are some of your major goals? Things like that?
I would say my dream job was at Blizzard. I really wanted to... Overwatch was actually one game that I really, really wanted to work on, because I enjoy the FPS genre. I enjoy the types of things and mechanics you can explore with it. But I actually have a full-time position with Amazon. I'm hoping within the next couple of days they're going to tell me where I work. I'm really hoping I can work in Amazon Game Studios. I know they're working on a couple projects there, so hopefully I can work there. Because the games industry is really where I want to work. As much as I love programming for games is much more fun. So in the long run, hope to end up there and maybe end up in Blizzard one day, work on some other big projects, and kind of see where I can go from there.
Very cool. Okay. If you were stranded on an island, what 3 essential things would you want with you?
3 essential things. Multi-tool. It's handy in many situations. Probably Probably some rope. I feel like rope helps a lot. Can we water? Water would be nice. I think that's a very necessity. Just to at least skate me by.
Very practical answers. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Superpower? Oh, jeez. Telekinesis. That's the one where you can move things with your mind, right?
Yeah.
I'm so lazy. That would be so nice. Just like if you want that water over there, you can just like...
Yeah.
Just move it. Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be nice.
I would just use it to like carry my backpack around. You know?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah. What's your favorite Disneyland ride?
Favorite Disneyland ride? Ooh. Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters. Love that ride.
Do you know your high score?
A couple 100,000. I think like 600,000, something like that. Yeah, there's secrets on that ride. You look it up, there's secrets.
Really?
Yeah. And if you look, you know the big Zurg in there?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of his chest, there's an opening. There's a secret target in there.
I didn't know about that.
I looked it up once because I'm like, I want that high score. I'm gonna look this up.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just like every other game. I want to win it now. So one day I'll get on the high score board.
Do you have any fun stories about family holidays?
Oh boy. So I come from a very big family on my mom's side, at least. Fun stories. I don't know. All I know, we do this one white elephant thing where you like exchange gifts during. It's like we have Christmas and a Thanksgiving family parties. So during the Christmas one, the gifts were being exchanged around, and by the end of the day, I had somehow ended up with a squatty potty. That was very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, that was. I don't know how that ended up in the pool, but yeah, that happened. I think it's in the trash now. But yeah, very interesting stories.
And finally, Mayan wants to know, what's your darkest secret?
Why would I say this on a video? I'm not gonna tell my darkest secret. Darkest secret? I don't know if I have any dark secrets.
It doesn't seem like you would.
No, I'm a very boring person. I don't do much.
Okay, I don't know what Mayan was looking for with that question.
That's a concerning question. I'm gonna see what his answer is.
Yeah, I'll ask him too.
Yeah, no, he'll have an answer. That's the worrying part.
I'm sure. And he'll be willing to say it on camera too.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Okay. That's all I have.
Yeah, thank you.